Hello, folks. How you doing? Welcome to my channel. So we're going to have a look at October and see what wants to come through. We've got three decks today. Shall I show you them? We've got the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. We've also got the Secret Language of Light by Denise Jarvis. And we've also got the Magdalene Oracle by Toni, Carmine, Salerno. So let's get to it and see what wants to come through. Before I do, um, I'm aware that September has been a big month, a huge month in so many ways for so many people. Um, Such deep, 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 deeply profound shifts occurring on such a personal level, on a cellular level, that have brought up so much for people. And I know many people from the comments and via sessions, you know, navigating so many things at this time. And I just want to say well done for people that are just showing up each day, even if it doesn't feel like you are showing up, even if you're crawling through your day, because we are in times that are very interesting. And I was going to say quite, but they're very interesting. And I feel that this is going to continue to go, um, at least for the next few months. I don't want to put a time span on it because there's no point. Time is not linear. Um, and one of the things I was getting before I came on this video was that I'm feeling October is going to be another month where we're going to be required explore further within us, do some more internal exploration. And this will look different for everyone. Um, and also as well with October, November, the autumn seasons and into winter, it's the cozy season. So how can we find ways to cozy on? I mean, look how I'm dressed today. I was feeling cold. And one of the things that the guides were talking about yesterday was we live in a world where we can go into fear over, not having heating on and stuff like that. But our ancestors used these times to um comfort themselves via blankets, via furs. Obviously, we're not going to go kill bears and wear bears and stuff, but they use this time to cocoon like this. They use this time for blankets and, you know, what is it? Grannies used to wear shawls, and we go, God, I don't want to wear a granny shawl. But there's a comfort in doing something like this, and there's comfort in being able to wrap yourself in a duvet, and especially if you're reparenting yourself that you can't do in the summer. I mean, the summers they're great for the light and getting in the light codes and stuff like that. But the autumn and winter is a time of real nourishment. It's cozy soups, casseroles, stews. It's, autumnal drinks, leaves, the colours. We have much to be thankful for. Anyway, obviously as well, other part of the world coming into spring. I do love. I think my favorite seasons are autumn and spring, um, because they're transitional periods. I mean, you could say all the seasons are transitional periods, but there's something profound about autumn and spring. Um, yes. Ooh, two have fallen out already. We are on a transition. The Hierophant. We're on a transition into light. So October, what's at the bottom? The Page of Wands at the bottom. We're walking a path that we haven't possibly walked before, or not in our recent incarnation time. We're walking a path back to light, and consequently, there's a lot that we. It's not that we're walking to the light, we're walking to the light within ourselves. There's no Hierophant waiting at the other side of this for us, if that makes sense. The Hierophant is within, but in order to get to the light within us, and to see it and to embrace it, all the other stuff has to come up and it's getting deeper. But look at the swords in that boat. The swords aren't here with them. Some depictions that depict it where the swords are around them. The swords are there, but they're more contained. So it feels as though stuff feels more contained in October 2024. We've embodied enough light and enough wisdom to not let it overwhelm us, if that makes sense. We've then got the Five of Wands, but we know that, I mean, this reminds me of the Middle East actually. We know that there's stuff going on around the world. And let me take the next card. The Four of Wands, the celebration. There is lot, there's a lot going on in the world, a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of conflict, a lot of pain, a lot of internal stuff as well, not just in countries, but there's also abundance. There's also peace. What I'm being shown is, you'll have one country that is at war, and there'll be another country at the same time in total bliss and total peace. And we're being asked to navigate both, to not get so stuck in that we're in fear, but to not get so stuck in this where we're blinded to other people's stuff, to be able to see the world in all of it, if that makes sense, to be able to see the conflict in the world. I'm not just talking about battles, I'm talking about online conflict, conflict within families, conflict within yourself, to be able to see that, but also be able to see the celebration, the coming together, the harvest, the abundance. The Four of Cups. I like this deck, it's a brand new deck and I really like it. That's interesting. The fourth cups comes from the angel. Can you see that? Things that you've been waiting for some time have opportunity in October to come to fruition. These could be physical things, energetic things, mindset things, lifestyle changes, but they have the potential to come true, to come to fruition. And it feels as though this, I want to say it comes from the angels. There's something here coming from the angels. And maybe they had to wait for this clearance that you've been doing. Um, Also, as well, I'm feeling people's connection to source getting stronger. Even people that we wouldn't perceive are on a spiritual path, they're starting to think certain ways, they're starting to question certain things, they're starting to question life. Nine of Swords, we've got an anxiety here. Do you know the truth? And this is, when you're on a diet or you're on a fast or something like that, or I don't know, you've just had a really big upgrade or you've had a healing session and you feel really vibrant or something. Do you know that can actually make you feel anxious? It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling when all of a sudden you're clean of sugar, caffeine, and all of that kind of stuff, booze. You can feel so alert that you can start to feel really. It's a hard. I can't even describe what it is, but there's that energy coming in as well. The old anxieties, the old pain coming in, and it's almost like you see the dog there, the dog trying to get his attention to not get stuck there. Maybe this is to do with the root chakra. The Page of Coins. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be able to get through this? There's a lot of this angel communication. There's a message here about anything we do, not just in October, but any time, has to come with an angelic frequency. Anything we do, think, or say, more and more we're going to be asked. We hear a lot of galactic frequency, don't we? In spiritual communities, the galactic frequency and the galactic light and all of that. But I'm feeling a real angelic, a real angelic energy that wants to come through. And it's almost like anything we're doing, thinking, saying, has to come through with the angelic frequency and asking the angels to work through you with this. And don't be surprised if there's something that you're doing or have been doing that really isn't angelic frequency. This isn't about being right or wrong, and that gets pushed to one side for something else. But there's a real need to call on the angels. I'm really feeling it in this reading. Here they are again. And they're going to help us bring about justice. The Justice card keeps coming out a lot in personal readings for myself, in readings for clients, videos. As you know, if you've been watching me regular, you'll know the Justice card is coming out a lot. Justice is about rebalancing, but it's also about clearing karma. There's a lot of this going on at the minute, which I feel is why we've gone through so much this year, because we've been clearing stuff we didn't even realize we had, if that makes sense. So, for although there is a lot of anxiety around, there's also it's helping us to rebalance. Also, as well, not letting the anxiety overwhelm us, to understand what it is and understand that we have power over it as well. We have control over it. And you may think, well, no, you don't have control over a panic attack, Claire. You have control how you let it swamp us. Um, are you your anxiety? I don't believe you're your anxiety. I think you're more than the anxiety that you hold. Um, I think you're more than the trauma that you hold. Watching how we talk about ourselves, we never, ever, ever say my anxiety, my panic attacks, my pain, my disease, my trauma. Never say that. Never own it. You might be experiencing it, but never, ever own it. Because every time you say my anxiety, my depression, you're pulling it in. And we've got the Ten of Coins, the ancestors coming in as well. Also, as well, generational trauma. Also, as well, looking at the world that you've got and what have you inherited. And I don't mean via wills, I mean wisdom. You know, we look at generation, well, see, let's call it the ancestors rather than anything generational, but we look at the generational line and straight away generational trauma. But even the generational trauma has wisdom within it. Also, as well, here, I think this message has been building for some time. There is reconnection back to the ancestral line. There may have been a lot of bitterness and anger, especially to the recent ones, where you've come into a family and there's a lot of conflict going on, a lot of pain, disharmony, dis-ease. Um, but it feels as we go into October, we're able to look at the ancestral line in a different way. We're able to look through the trauma and actually see them as human beings. That actually we're not going to let this overwhelm us anymore. And why was I born into this? God, this bloodline is so heavy. And to actually understand that there isn't anything heavy about it. What there is, there are many different lessons, um, many different teachers wanting to step forward, and that's where the Emperor comes in. So the Emperor comes in to this reading to say this is leveling up. This is where we can look at it all and not label it, not judge it, not mock it, not hate it, not try to get away from it. The emperor's worked through everything. He is the emperor. He's the top man, the top creator. And have you seen how he's not running around like a headless chicken? He's got his strength. He's got his crow. I'm seeing this window as well. It's a small window. And what I'm getting with this, sometimes we can look too deeply at things. Sometimes we can look too deeply at ancestral trauma, too deeply at our ancestors, where we become quite intrusive. And that can happen in a lot of ways. People can say things to people. You don't look well today. And they do it in a really intrusive way. Let me try and assess your energy. That kind of a thing where we can go too intrusive. And we're being asked to just step back from over-analyzing the ancestral line, over-analyzing certain characters within that line, because enough is enough. And I think a great part of healing is going to be allowing it to rest. That's interesting. Allowing it to rest. Not everything has to be dragged up. Not everything has to be brought up to be seen. What I'm feeling is sometimes letting things rest. Um, because there's a lot of ancestors I'm seeing right now that are feeling quite abused, especially the recent ones. Why did they do that? Why did they abandon my mum? Why did they do that to my dad? Why did he abuse my dad? Why did he do that to my grandmother? And they're feeling quite abused and they're feeling quite, what is it? Hold over the coals. All over the coals. It's something like that, isn't it? Let me know in the comments. Dragged over the coals. They're feeling quite. I'm being shown images of the witch trials where, hang 'em, draw 'em, quarter 'em, where it's spectators. Maybe that Four of Wands can represent that as well. A big wooden stage in the center lets human. And we're not people aren't doing this purposely, but the way we've been going about certain things is, and we're being asked to drop those narratives now. Interesting reading. Judgment coming up. It's all coming up. It's all come. And when I say that, it's what you've just said to me, things are best left, you know, not being dragged up all the time. What I mean by that is that we're not continuously dragging things up, that we're not trying to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. If something's meant to come up, it will come up organically. It will come up without you trying. But when people are praying for, I hope they get their justice. I hope this comes out. Because when this comes out, that's going to wipe the smile off her face. I can't wait for that. That kind of thing. Because every single one of us is in the same mix. Because while we're sat there going, I hope they get their just desserts, somebody else is thinking that about us. And look at all those people. Also, as well, the Christ consciousness coming in. We've got to stop wanting people's. October feels deep. It's almost like stop wanting people's downfall, stop wanting, you know, punishment because we're trying to embody the sun, the light. Also, as well, I'm feeling the next generation coming in needs this to stop. They need to stop hearing the same old tales around the. I'm being shown a dining table, and the different generations are there. There may be a grandparent, a parent, and like a child in their 30s, 40s, and they're all having a piece to say. And then there's the teenagers and the children are just looking, and they're like, I don't want to hear it. Do you know there's a frequency within the teenagers and children right now, and they're not going to give a shit about all the stuff that you're giving a shit about? They're really not. They're going to be so different. They will not take on the old stories. And it's almost like they're looking and they're like, why are you doing this to yourself? And a lot of these children I'm seeing can feel the pain that you're causing us, that we all cause ourselves. And it's like, but that wasn't really a big thing. And that happened in 1980s. I always keep saying 1986, don't I? Psychologists would have a field day on that with me. I have to look into 1986. But that's it. They're sort of thinking, God, not this story again. Oh my God, when are they going to stop? And yes, this is really profound. Temperance, having to rebalance. Take it away from ancestral stuff into your own personal life. The same goes for everything else. Talking about exes and all of that, and exes as in partners, ex-partners, talking about this job, that job, this story, that story, and seeing it more as experiences and learning a national. I always say this. I know in the UK we have something called a national curriculum, which is something you're meant to learn whilst you're in education, and it's the same on Earth. You get a national curriculum that you can swap and change at any time. But what happens is we get stuck in the stories, and we can't. It's almost like the stories take over us, and we can't step back. And we're being asked to step back in October, the Three of Coins, to work together, to understand that there is no baddies or goodies in the story, that we're all here to learn, to grow. And part of that learning and growing is making deep, profound mistakes. Final card for the tarot, and this is about healing the heartbreak, where we're not embodying that broken heart in our chest, and we're able to let it go. We're able to see beyond it. I'm going to balance it out with another card, an Ace of Swords, and that's how you cut through. And that's how you cut through in an angelic frequency. Whoa. I don't even know what I'm going to call this. So let's do the secret language of light, October 2024. October 2024. Try not to whack the mic. Create space. You're creating space. This is why so much stuff's been coming up, because you've been creating space for this golden ray that wants to come in. I've been seeing this golden ray a while. Been seeing it in the sky of an evening, early evening, and this golden ray is wanting to come through. Oops. So we're having to create space. And how we create space? Do you need the fridge story again? You've got a dirty fridge. For some of you that don't know the fridge story, you've got a dirty fridge full of rotten food, and you're refusing to clean it out. And all of a sudden, your Asda, your food delivery comes. Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Walmart, whatever it is, gets delivered, and it's all fresh produce. And you go, let's get this in the fridge. And you go and open the fridge, and it smells. It's rotten. And you realize that number one, there's no space. So your food's going to go off. This new energy that's coming is going to go off. You're going to lose it. And if you try and put it in there, that stuff, that poisonous bacteria on that cream, milk, cheese, vegetables, meat, is going to poison the new food. What happens is you lose the upgrade, you lose a new food. Or by the time you've cleared it all out in a rush, this is on its way out anyway. So this is about cleaning the fridge. What we've gone through this past year has been about deeply cleaning the fridge for the good stuff to come in. You are the universe. More and more people realizing they are not separate. You are the universe. Divine animals, connection to Mother Earth, the animal kingdom coming in as well to try to guide us through this. Ask your soul, what would love do? You're being asked to go higher, 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 higher with everything. And it's going to get more and more profound. And I'm feeling as well, there's going to be reactions to this when maybe somebody does hurt you. And it's just going to be painful to try to go up. But if you can do it, it feels better. It releases you. Also, as well, the systems that allow us to go higher as humans are being upgraded. Because a lot of our systems have been tampered with um, by a different species within the universe, um, via the false matrix that we all live in or have been living in, um, computer games, horror movies, trauma, additives, alcohol, drugs, recreational, you know, some tablets. I'm not just saying, I can't go into too much detail, but all of it can cause issues to our connection to to the portals above the crown. um Stress, strain, losing, being in a lack mentality, having disease, going through pain, going through difficult childbirth, and all of this has been getting cleaned up and we've not even realized it. um So lots of toilet visits, sweating, pain body, feeling tired, feeling jittery like everything's come on grid, but you can't do anything. It's a weird feeling, but it's good. And this is time to nourish. No matter where you are on the earth plane, October is a time of nourishment. There's a huge upgrade coming to the earth. Could possibly come. Oh my God. What did Rick Mail say in that channeling? Let me know in the comments, please. Did he say something about October? Shit. Did he say something about 22nd of October? Oh God. Let me know, please. Well, there is an upgrade coming. Maybe around about the eclipse, which is I think the second. Is it? Second, 22nd? You know, give a two, take a two off. What is somewhat on the second? What's on the 22nd of October? Sun enters Scorpio. Yeah. Write it in your. I'm going to star it in this. Put Rick. button, put Rick Mail, and underline it like that. But 22nd, because that's going to be important. Possibly something starts on the 2nd with the eclipse and then Sun enters Scorpio. Soul love. Enjoying being on this planet, enjoying being soul in body. And by letting go of the old stories, it feels as though we're able to do that. And it's a burden. What's the card? Is it Ten of Wands, where he's walking stooped over with all the. You see, has anybody been having back issues throughout September? Back pains. Now, some could be quite severe, some could be just little tweaks in your back. Because, the back is not just, well, spinal issues is the ancestral line. So if you've got a family where they've got spinal issues, um, it's the ancestral line. Because if you think about this, the spine is like a tree with the trunk, the spinal cord, and then all the nerves coming off, and then the nerves in the bottom. So it's like the tree. But also as well with the back, especially muscle aches and pains and things like that, that can be we've been holding stuff for too long, and we're trying to come back up again because it's expansion. We'll do one more card from this deck. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Do you know some of you feel that it feels that some of you need me to say this. It's okay to let it go. It's perfectly acceptable for you to let it go. Whatever it is you need to let go of. Because sometimes when we've had pain or trauma, we can feel it's not acceptable because they hurt us. And especially if it involves a few of you, and I don't know, say if your ex-partner's hurt you and you're ready to let it go, but your parents are, or your children are, or your friends are, or say somebody's done something really bad to you, like attacked you, and you say, I just feel total love and compassion and forgiveness, and people go, oh, what? After what they did, and that can really have an effect on us in other ways. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to let something go and other people not understand it. And it's okay. It's okay for you. You're safe. A lot of people are needing to be told that they are safe right now because they're feeling jittery. The frequencies of the planet are getting stronger. The heaviness on the planet seems to be getting louder, but it's actually not. Oh, I can't share a dream. Shall I share a dream? Right, I'm going to share a dream. The other night, I'm seeing a lot of things when I'm not sleeping, but I'm not awake because you're starting to go into sleep. And there was like a boardroom in New York, like it's a place like big city, big international city. And around this boardroom were older men, well-known men who have big roles within the world. And this room felt dark and heavy. Then all of a sudden, this golden light came through the window. And all the men were like, what's that? And they all went to look at the window. And I saw the look on their faces. And it was like, we can't stop this. And I came to, and I was like, what was that? What in the name of Barbara was what in the name of Barbara was that? And my guide said, it's a message to say that if you're worried that certain individuals may try and stop something, the Great Awakening, or that the dark will win, it won't. That it'll get that strong that actually it'll have an impact there, if that makes sense. And I know one of the men showed their face. I'm not going to start naming them, but they're well-known names that we all brandish about now and again. Um, yeah, it was fascinating. It was fascinating. Anyway. And the golden ray was the ascension. So, yeah, purgatory. By being in purgatory, which feels like many have been this year, we have actually been embodying light. We've had to go into this purgatory energy to find the light. And I'm being shown the vision of using a movie reference. You know, Titanic, where she realizes Jack's died, and she gets the whistle, and she realizes she wants to live, and she blows on the whistle. That need to stay alive. It's like that. It's almost like I've been to death's door, and I want to survive this accident, this trauma, and that's where many people have got to. But out of purgatory is going to come light. It's going to come resilience and acceptance, accepting who you are. Cards upside down. And the prophet. More and more people are going to be wanting to read the spiritual books, watch the deeply spiritual videos, go into their own consciousness. Um, Little children. What am I going to say about that card? Because we're working towards a better world where all children can be safe, where all children can have better futures, where they don't have to face what ancestors have faced and what we have gone through. They don't have to see the dark underbelly of society. They don't have to deal with the generational trauma. We're mopping it up. We're mopping it up. Um, many people say it's going to be the next, and I've said this myself, it's going to be the next generation that do this. I've actually had people blatantly say that they want it to be the next generation so they don't have to do it. But actually, we're all doing it. Even the person that may be in the family that sits in the chair in the corner and they don't seem to be ascending or awakening, they're still playing their part in it. Every single body on this planet right now is playing their part in it, which is where the confusion comes in. Who's the goody? Who's the baddie? What can I believe? What's going on? Oh, I don't know what to believe anymore. Do you know when you don't know what to believe anymore? Do you know what happens is become back to your own source. Mythic reality. All of our mythical places, all our past, like Atlantis, Babylon, all of that kind of stuff, Lemuria, all the different realities coming back on grid, being able to reconnect, to past lives. And this is part of the transformation. And expect miracles. There's also as well, what did the guides call it? I'm going to do another card. What did the guides call it? And this is eternal remembrance, relationship healing, friendship healing, family healing, remembering who we all are at soul level. And this is all in divine order. This is the new order, the divine order. Um, what did the guides call it yesterday? This thing with timelines. You can have a foot in both dimensions where you will possibly go to a place that you've been to before. Let's just say you go and you visit a big house. You've been to visit a big house back in the noughties, and you get there and it's surrounded by fields. It's beautiful. It's vibrant. The building's bouncing with energy. It feels like the people that live there are already there. They're still there. They're in the Great Hall having the feasts. And you're walking around and it's amazing. It's bouncing. You're also seeing lots of people in fancy dress. Um, and it's brilliant. It's surrounded by fields. So you go back 10, 15, 20 years afterwards, and you're looking, you're thinking, what is going on? Where are the fields? Because this is really built up. There's no fields around it. What's going on? Because when I was here last, it was surrounded by fields. And actually, this place feels quite dead. I don't get it. And you feel quite anxious. Simple thing is, when you visited the first time, you were able to go through two dimensions. You were able to go into two times. So you were firmly anchored in the physical body in this on this physical plane, but you were also in the other dimensions. So you were able to physically walk on the earth, but an overlap of that time was on it. So yes, you could see it surrounded by fields because that's how it used to be. But when you go back, you're seeing it as it is. There's going to be a lot of that. You're going to be sat down having a conversation with someone, and all of a sudden you're going to get chills because you're going to think, we had this conversation yesterday, sat here, wearing these clothes, saying these words, and it's going to make people really edgy. We've already spoken on this channel about time. Looking at the time, it's 2 p.m. And then you look back at the time and it's 5 to 2, and you're like, what? It's all happening. It's all happening. There's so much happening. And if we could all get into a room together and have a nice cup of tea or some water or whatever, we could be sharing some right tales. I bet you we could. Because there's all sorts happening. Um, the veils are getting thinner, so being able to see spirit more and more, being able to see craft in the sky more and more, lights. What's that? There's nothing there. That kind of thing. Interesting times, I will say, wherever you are in the earth, whether you're in the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, go through this process in relation to the seasons. And that's going to be how you can get that's the kindest thing you can do. So if it's spring, it's all about coming forward and new birth and budding open. If it's the autumn, it's about cocooning. It's about nourishment. It's about slowing down. It's about resting. It's about pondering. It's about reading a book, an old book that fulfills your soul. It's a watching a cozy movie. It's cozy. It's cozy time. Okay. So I nearly did it again. Remember, because I did it on September. What was it? September or August? That I remember, forgot to mention the group healing. The next group healing is the 8th and the 9th of October 2024. It is an energy field group healing. So it's all about cleansing the energy field and then the upgrading of the energy field because we have been through a lot this year. That's £22 for 2 days distance channeled healing. For more information, go to the pinned comment and the description box beneath this video. Okay. Um, and you will see it'll say next group healing. For more information, watch this video, and then it'll say to take part. Press this link and press it. And everything else is down there, the website for sessions, Instagram, and all of that. And I will see you all in the next one. Let me turn this laptop off. Ta-ta for now and take care of yourselves. Bye.